The day I finally moved into my family's old lake cabin, I expected peace and quiet, the sound of the water lapping against the dock, birds singing in the trees, and maybe the distant hum of boats. What I didn't expect was a furious woman, storming down the gravel path, pointing at me like I was a criminal. "Excuse me," she barked, clutching a clipboard like it was a weapon. "You can't just move in here. This is HOA property, and you're trespassing." I blinked, still holding a box of kitchen supplies in my arms. "Ma'am, this is my cabin. My grandfather built it back in the 60s. I just inherited it." That didn't sit well with her. She narrowed her eyes and snapped back, "No, this. Lakefront is for HOA members only. You're not on our list. If you don't leave immediately, I'm calling the police." I honestly thought she was bluffing, but 10 minutes later, 2 squad cars pulled into the dirt driveway. The officers looked at me, and at Karen, who by now was dramatically waving her hands and insisting I was some kind of squatter. The officers asked for paperwork. Calmly, I handed them my deed, complete with notarized transfer of ownership from my grandfather's estate. Karen stood there slack-jawed as the officers looked it over and nodded. "Ma'am," one of the officers said, firmly, "he owns this property. You need to leave." But Karen wasn't done. She demanded the officers cite me for violating HOA regulations. That's when things unraveled for her. You see, my cabin was never part of her HOA. The association had been slowly trying to claim more and more land around the lake, assuming no one would challenge them. But my property line stretched all the way to the water, and the deed made it crystal clear that the HOA had zero authority here. I decided enough was enough. The next morning, I contacted my lawyer and the county records office. It turns out that HOA had been charging lake access fees to homeowners for years in land they didn't even own. Within weeks, the county stepped in. The HOA was officially barred from enforcing any rules on the lakefront. And every homeowner got a letter explaining the truth. When I went out on the dock that evening, I saw Karen standing on the opposite shore, glaring at me like I'd ruined her empire. In reality, I had just restored what was mine and reminded her HOA that sometimes their power ends where real ownership begins. And now, the lake is quiet, peaceful, and finally free from Karens. Clipboard tyranny, * for more interesting and heart-touching stories. Hit the subscribe button now.